Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to all of you. Secretary Hanger, who's here with us today, as well as the Mayor of Harrisburg, Mayor Papenfuse. Thank you very much once again for coming, gracing our presence at this ceremony. And thanks to all members of the General Assembly who are here as well, also parents, educators, and of course to our honored guests, Comcast leaders and achievers from throughout Pennsylvania. My name is Frank Lynch, and I'm the Regional Vice President of Government Affairs for Comcast. And this is the 15th year of offering this program, in which we give $1,000 scholarships to students who excel not only in scholastics, not athletics, but in community involvement and leadership. And this is the 5th time that we asked everyone to join us right here in Harrisburg. Bring it all together. We used to deploy out to school assemblies throughout the state. So instead of us doing the legwork, we're asking you to do it, come to Harrisburg. Enjoy a great time while you're here. And Mayor will tell you all about that in a second. But it's our intention today to really shine the light on each one of you, because you truly do represent the best that our schools in Pennsylvania have to offer. So ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, let's please have a round of applause for these remarkable young men and women, the Comcast leaders and achievers, class of 2015, for their achievements and for the promise they hold to make us all proud. It's well deserved. We'll be hearing a lot of that, I'm sure. Towards the end of the ceremony today, we'll announce the name of one student who's been selected as the winner of our Comcast Scholars Founders $10,000 scholarship. It's a pretty big prize. Also, 10 of you will be selected to win the new Samsung Chromebook 2 computer, and at the conclusion of the ceremony, we'll have dinner upstairs in the Memorial Hall and Village Square areas of the museum, but more about that in a little bit. As I said, we're truly in a remarkable place right here in the State Museum of Pennsylvania. It's a unique storehouse of Pennsylvania history and lore, and we are fortunate to be able to host this event in this one-of-a-kind location in the Commonwealth. Many thanks to all the members of the museum staff, especially Judy Engling, who's done a great job and gone above and beyond in making today's event a first-rate event worthy of those we're here to honor. As I mentioned, we're in Pennsylvania's capital city, where the attention is also focused on state government. But more about that in just a little bit from Secretary Hanger. With our next speaker, we'll change that focus from state government for just a little while. Eric Papenfuse is the mayor of Harrisburg, having won that post in November of 2013, and now fresh into his 2nd year at the helm of the city's government. Mayor Papenfuse has a rare combination of attributes. He's wedded his lifelong love of learning with his entrepreneurial spirit to own and operate a central Pennsylvania treasure, the Midtown Scholar Bookstore. He's also proven that he's willing to make sacrifices in the time he can spend with his business, as well as with his young family, to go through the electoral process and then to do the tough work that's entailed in being a mayor of a city. Mayor Papenfuse also knows that leadership is not just a matter of top-down management, nor is it a matter of cutting ribbons, issuing proclamations, or bestowing keys to the city. In all cities and neighborhoods that have challenges, both social and fiscal, it's also vital to work from the ground up and nurture the spirit of involvement and self-determination that helps build families and puts our kids on the right track. After years of struggle, Harrisburg is now on the way back, and Mayor Papenfuse is dedicating all his time and talents to see it all the way through. It's an honor for me and for Comcast to present to you the Honorable Eric Papenfuse, Mayor of the City of Harrisburg. Mayor?
Thank you so much, Frank, for those kind remarks. It's really wonderful to be here. I want to start by thanking Comcast for hosting that event, this event right here in the capital of Pennsylvania. It should be here, and we're glad that you're here from all over the Commonwealth to experience what Harrisburg has to offer. You're in an amazing location because just to the south of you, you've got the Capitol. There's no more beautiful Capitol anywhere in the country. A little bit to the north of you, if you were to go on a short walk, you'd reach our vibrant Midtown Arts District, where we've got a beautiful new Susquehanna Art Museum just recently built and opened. And if you were to go to the west, you'd make it to the gorgeous banks of the Susquehanna River and City Island, and you could, even if you wanted to and had more time, travel the Greenbelt all the way around the city and enjoy the natural setting that we're blessed to have here in Harrisburg. I am a former teacher and educator, which I know is an odd background for a mayor, but I'm proud of it. And I really appreciate this event because I appreciate what all of you have done to really sacrifice and get to where you are today. So I prepared you some remarks in the spirit of being a teacher, and I want to share those with you now. So, to our young leaders and achievers, as you accept this well-deserved congratulations, I think it's a good time to reflect on the characteristics that all of you have demonstrated over the many years that have led to this success. Many people have seen admirable traits in you that, if nurtured, will lead you to your ultimate success in life. Your teachers, your parents, your coaches and friends have seen in you great characteristics such as self-discipline, perseverance, and courage. Those characteristics have been the essential ingredients to your being named a leader and an achiever by Comcast. And they will be essential to your success in the years to come. So let's take a brief moment today to look at the meaning of those characteristics that people have seen in you and why you have been named an outstanding leader and achiever. First, you clearly have self-discipline. Now, the dictionary defines self-discipline as correction or regulation of oneself for the sake of improvement. To be named one of Comcast leaders and achievers, you have shown an ability to sacrifice a little bit of fun for now for a bigger reward later. Instead of watching television, playing video games, texting all the time, at some point you decided you needed to turn off the TV, pause the games, and put down the cell phone. Why? Because you understood that to pass that algebra test, you needed to spend a few hours working out equations. You realized that to pass the history test, you actually needed to spend some hours reading that history book. And to write that final paper on nuclear fusion versus nuclear fission, you needed to do a little research to figure out the difference. Yes, self-discipline means you have been able to see the big picture in your lives, which has led to self-improvement and to a bigger reward. And it's why you're here today among the Comcast leaders and achievers, and it's why you stand as an example for all other students in this Commonwealth. Self-discipline is essential for you to persevere and overcome obstacles. Many of you have faced challenges along the paths to your success. Maybe you've had family problems that have seemingly blocked your path, or maybe you've found math to just be simply impossible, or sometimes you just couldn't stay focused on studying. We have all been there. But to be successful at anything, you have to persevere. And that means even if you fail, even if you fall flat on your face, you've got to pick yourself up and you've got to try and try again. It's not an embarrassment to say that you failed at something. It's really a badge of honor to have failed, but tried and then tried again. Anyone who can say that is really ready for life and ready for ultimate success. Every one of us fails at something. Did you know that some of the world's most successful people faced abject failure at points in their lives? The genius Einstein failed at school. His parents even thought he had a learning disability. Thomas Edison, who invented the electric light bulb, faced his share of failure. His teachers allegedly told him he was too stupid to learn. And Oprah Winfrey, she was fired from her first television job. And now she's the queen of TV and worth millions. And I'm mayor of the city of Harrisburg today, not because I always won, I certainly didn't, but because I refused to give up on my city. And on the path to City Hall, I faced both frustration and failure. I lost twice, and I faced serious opposition before I ever became mayor. But a little more than a year ago, I took the oath of office to lead our city at one of the most important times in its history. And I can tell you my ultimate success took a lot of self-discipline and a lot of perseverance. But there's also another important ingredient that I urge you all to nurture. It's what Einstein, Edison, and Oprah needed to overcome their failures. And that key ingredient is courage. Courage is defined as the ability to do something difficult, dangerous at some point in your lives. You will be called to do something difficult, and perhaps you will be called to do something dangerous. And dangerous needn't be physical danger. Sometimes it can just be refusing to go along with the crowd and risking popularity. Sometimes courage means standing up for what you know is right, even when powerful people or your own friends are going along with what is wrong. Courage means being willing to stand alone for your beliefs and for your principles, and it means refusing to be defeated, like Oprah, or like Einstein, or like Edison. And since you've been declared leaders and achievers, I'm sure you've had occasion already to have to stand alone. I'm sure you've had to face your share of criticism and ridicule because you wouldn't go along with your friends or you wouldn't go along with the crowd, and I'm sure you've had to already overcome a setback or two. In my professions of politics and in business, or really in any profession, leaders must be prepared to suffer disappointment, criticism, ridicule, all to achieve our goals and hold fast to our ideals. So because you are leaders and achievers, you are destined to do great things, to make your marks on our community, and on our nation, and on the world. I urge you always to remember why Comcast chose you as leaders and achievers this day. I want you to remember that you have self-discipline, that you have persevered despite obstacles, that you demonstrate moral and ethical courage in reaching your goals and in all that you do. And finally, I encourage you all to dream big dreams, to set big goals, and to never underestimate your capabilities and your talents, which we are here to recognize today. Someone in this room could become a greater inventor than Edison. Someone here today could become a greater mathematician than Einstein. And someone here today could eventually become the queen of TV. I do hope at least one of you considers becoming a political leader who will serve our city or our country or even the world. All of you are well on your way to reaching your dreams, so congratulations. And once again, I commend Comcast for its commitment to nurturing achievement and leadership in the next generation, and I salute you, the 2015 Comcast Leaders and Achievers. I know you will all do great things in the years ahead. Thank you very much. And welcome to Harrisburg.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And anybody that came into Harrisburg along Front Street saw a lot of construction going on. Believe me, it's not just a minor irritation. It's a good thing based on sound vision. There's going to be a new bicycle lane created down the east side of Front Street, which will do two things. One, provide a place for bikers in a more eco-friendly way to get to and from work, and there's a lot that use that corridor. But also, it will have a traffic calming effect on the traffic that do use the remaining two lanes. So thank you for your leadership on that as a biker. Much appreciated. Our next speaker is John Hanger, and he's Governor Tom Wolf's Secretary of Policy and Planning. We are thrilled for him to come to this event to honor you. Part of Secretary Hanger's job is to steer the ship through tricky political shoals and to generate the results that the governor set out to achieve. Here to introduce the Secretary is someone very familiar with making things happen and generating results, but his work is done in the private sector. As leader of Comcast Keystone Region, Jim has a proven track record of team management, consensus building, and leadership that consistently makes Keystone one of Comcast's top performing regions in the country. Please welcome Comcast Regional Senior Vice President, Mr. Jim Samaha. Jim?
Thanks, Frank, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 2015 Comcast Leaders and Achievers Scholarship Ceremony. And of course, a special welcome to all of our scholarship winners tonight. But I'd also like to add, as a parent who hopes to have a child receiving a scholarship someday, congratulations to all of the parents and families of the scholarship winners. I'm sure you all feel like winners too. Since 2000, Comcast has awarded over $21 million worth of Leaders and Achievers scholarships to over 21,000 students across the country. So it's quite the program. And today we're celebrating 170 of these winners for the state of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's best and brightest. So I'm sure, as you heard Mayor Papenfuss said, you guys are really impressive, and each of you has taken a different road to get here, but you should be very proud of yourselves, and I'm happy to extend congratulations to you. So now I'm pleased to introduce the Secretary of Policy and Planning for the state of Pennsylvania, John Hanger. Secretary Hanger is a key member of Governor Wolf's cabinet, also served as the Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection from 2008 to 2011 under Governor Ed Rendell, and also as Commissioner of the Pennsylvania Public Utilities Commission from 1993 to 1998. He's a nationally recognized expert on environmental, energy, and green economy issues. He's testified before the United States Senate, the United States House of Representatives, as well as countless state legislatures. He's a nationally recognized expert in this area. He's been interviewed by the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, CNN, NBC News, CBS News, and the BBC. So he's really made the rounds of the media outlets. But he's also here tonight because not only is he accomplished in those fields, but he's also a passionate advocate for education. So at this time, I'd like to introduce to you Secretary John Hanger.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, and it's my privilege to be here in two respects. First, I get to represent Governor Wolf, and the governor is somebody who is truly passionate and fighting for education. I have to also say he lives in the home from where he was brought back from the hospital as a baby, and in that home is the biggest private library I've ever seen. So we have a governor who reads. And I think Eric, who sells the books, might have even sold a book or two to Governor Wolf. So that's a good model. But the second reason I'm here, it's a privilege to be here, is to be with all of you. First, the moms and dads, and maybe you've got some grandparents and aunts and uncles. Congratulations to the families of the scholarship winners. But we're here first and foremost to honor and celebrate the young people, young leaders and achievers who have been selected for these wonderful scholarships of $1,000. And my understanding is going to be a drawing, and there may be some laptops, and I'm even hearing that there's going to be yet another drawing, and there might be even a $10,000 scholarship. And that leads me to thank Comcast. Obviously, we wouldn't be here without the work of Comcast and the financial support of Comcast. The governor is particularly grateful to anybody offering scholarships to young folks because the cost of education is in many cases far too high. There are, I'm glad to say, some lower cost opportunities, and we should always remember that. And there are some excellent lower cost opportunities at community colleges and some of our technical education opportunities. But unfortunately, even public universities in Pennsylvania have a pretty high price tag. And one of the reasons that there's a pretty high price tag at Temple or Penn State University, and I know we have at least one scholarship winner who's going to Temple, as well as our schools like Shippensburg and Clarion and others, is the state has actually underfunded education for a long period of time. And if the state appropriation to higher ed public institutions is lower than it should be, guess where they come to make up the difference? They come to the student and the family of students in the form of tuition and fees. And it's not a good thing that Pennsylvania right now is amongst the states with the very highest tuitions at our public universities and some of the highest fees at our public universities. And Governor Wolf ran for governor because, first and foremost, he spent a life living in Pennsylvania, all of it really, with a short exception, in business. He created a business and employed people and sold the business and then bought it back when it was having trouble and saved it. And he has learned through business one really fundamental thing that he wanted me to share with you. There is no good job creation, there is no good economy, there's no even wealth creation unless it begins with education. Education is fundamental to you as individuals, but it's fundamental to us as a society and its community and as a Commonwealth. Without Pennsylvania succeeding in education, we're not going to succeed at a family level or at the individual level. We're not going to succeed as a state. And unfortunately, we have some work to do on that front. In the last 4 years, we've lost 25,000 educators laid off. We had 75% of our school districts in Pennsylvania actually eliminate academic programs, at least one academic program. Some people say, oh, well, it's only art and music. Well, excuse me, but art and music is really important. It's actually very much important in of themselves, but it's linked with mathematical thinking and scientific reasoning. And a state that is a state that has 75% of its school districts cutting academic programs is a state going in the wrong direction. And that is what we did for the last 4 years. So the governor is dedicated today to trying to turn that around. And that's why he's proposed a historic education budget. And that historic education budget starts with early childhood education. Those of you who are leaders and achievers at 17 and 18 years old have done a lot of work, and you've had a lot of support, and I suspect you had some really good early childhood education, either through your family or through some organized program. But unfortunately, far too many young children in Pennsylvania don't even have any kind of early childhood education, let alone high quality early childhood education. So the governor's budget starts with increasing the number of children who will have access to early and excellent childhood education. And we're talking about 3 and 4 year olds by 75%. In this 1 year, we'll increase the number of children who are in early childhood education by 75%. It's also critically important to make sure that our school districts, our K through 12 schools, have the support that allows them to avoid laying off teachers, cutting academic programs, and here's another bad statistic. 56% of our K through 12 schools have no librarian. Now, books and reading are at the heart of learning. If you have, unfortunately, 56% of our schools without a librarian, that's a statement, and it's a very bad statement. So we've got to, in fact, make sure that we're providing resources to our K through 12 schools that allow them to have a librarian, to not be laying off teachers, to reopening programs, academic programs that may have been closed over the last 4 years, like art and music, but in some cases other programs as well have been closed. That is a really important thing. If we're going to have more leaders and achievers at age 17 and 18, we have to, in fact, invest in our schools so that they can invest in all of you and the next generation of leaders and achievers. But the goal here is, of course, to get to a day like this, where you are looking at your next stage in life and you're going off to some kind of further training or higher education. And in order to do that, again, we must make sure that there are affordable opportunities to every single family in Pennsylvania. Not just the wealthy, not just the well-to-do, but the middle class, and of course those families who are struggling. And those children who are being raised in a family that does not have a lot of money. Those children are absolutely essential if this Commonwealth is going to succeed. We must make sure that opportunity for higher education and training, technical training, is open to every Pennsylvanian. And it's for that reason that the governor has, in fact, restored 75% of the cuts to community colleges that were made in the last 4 years in his proposed budget. In 1 year, he will restore 75% of those cuts. Next year, we'll finish that job. He's restored in this budget 50% of the cuts that were made to our public universities like Temple and University of Pittsburgh, as well as Shippensburg and Millersville, and I can go on. 50% of those cuts will be restored this year, and we'll finish the job next year. All of that is done because we want to try to make sure that tuition and fees don't close off opportunity, don't end dreams. And in Pennsylvania, we're at risk already with that tuition and fees in some cases are understood by some children and some families to mean that they can't even apply, and you don't even get to the application stage. So we've got a lot of work to do in making sure that Pennsylvania has the very best education system, that the state government is playing an appropriate role, funding half of the cost of local education, and the other half should be borne by those local communities, but we want a real partnership, a 50-50 sharing between the state and the local schools. We have a lot to do to make sure that every 3-year-old and 4-year-old has access to and is enrolled in high-quality preschool. If we do all of that, we're going to have even more leaders and achievers, and we're going to have a better state. And with the help of Comcast and the private sector, we can even now make progress like we're doing today to make sure that the cost of education is in fact affordable to all of you. So congratulations to you. This is a really wonderful moment, and it's also a reminder of what we all as the state get when we invest in education. You're the result. You're the return on investment. So thank you very much to all of you families and those students who have been selected. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Secretary Hanger. Before we move on in the program, I'd like to acknowledge and thank members of the General Assembly who are here with us in person, or have asked a member of their staff to join us and extend best wishes to the students. They are, in the State Senate, Senator Rob Teplitz, Elder Vogel, and Gene Yaw, and Representative Rob Kaufman, Brandon Newman, Sue Helm, Bill Kortz, Ed Gainey, Jamie Santora, and Margot Davison. Let's give a round of applause to all the members of the Pennsylvania State Assembly. We're getting there. Everybody ready? $10,000 going to somebody. 10 netbooks. Yep. We're getting there. But first we have to go through a couple of other things, and that's the naming of the individual award winners. And we will announce each award recipient by county alphabetically and invite their individual legislators. So if I didn't mention your name and we didn't catch you at the reception table, please come forward when I announce the name of your home county. And please remain on stage until we call up the entire county for photo purposes. And just FYI, I believe Mr. Rudy will be doing the photographs down here, stage left. Again, we'll proceed alphabetically by county. So let's get to the 2015 Leaders and Achievers.
From Adams County, please come up to the podium. Valerie Bell, Owen Long, Kyle Miller, and Heather Segmesson. Please come forward. Thank you, Adams County. And from Allegheny County, home of my Pittsburgh, Ryan Blaylock, Clarence Branch, Taylor Enoch, Aaron Gilboy, Taylor Gilcrease, Nicholas Karopoulos, Addison Lindbergh, Cindy Luther, Jonathan Merlot, Samantha Schur, and Adriana Scarino. Please all come forward. I would just note while the pictures are being taken that these photos will be on Facebook. please feel free to like us on Facebook. Unless we have a presentation in some way. They will be posted there soon. And you can follow us on Twitter at Comcast Impact. And you can also tweet your photos if you so desire. From Beaver County, George Abdelis, Tane Booker, and Melissa Hallstatt. Please come forward. From Berks County, Megan Motzi, Ian Roth, and Essence Williams. Please come to the stage. We know today that our photographer up here is John Rooney. He's been doing this for us for 5 years. Does an excellent job. John Rooney Photography. Not only a good photographer, but he's happens to be my neighbor. Picture that. And from Bucks County, Abigail Cohen, Julie Lee, and Christina Tentalucci. Please come forward. From Chester County, Sarah Jurasinski and Alexa Miley. Please come to the stage. Neighboring Cumberland County, right across the river from us today, Bridget Bowman, Jordan Donnelly, Aline Tiley, and Elizabeth Tonkin. Please come forward. delegation of students here today, and I don't know whether it's because the best and the brightest of all of Pennsylvania, or because that happens to be where the ceremony is today. Mayor, your thoughts? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, from Dauphin County, Gasser Absufin, Autumn Capulas, Josh Getz, Hunter Kaufman, Travis Kistler, Caitlin Morrison, Emily Reese, and Taylor Shute. Please come forward. My Senator, Senator Teplitz, has joined us on stage. Thank you for being here, Senator. It's worth noting that this year we're recognizing 191 young people in Pennsylvania with this scholarship for a total of $200,000 in grants, and nationally, more than 2,000 students are being honored nationwide. And from Delaware County, Victor Arillo and Kyle D'Angelo. Please come forward. Franklin County is represented today by Patrick Doyle. Patrick? Next is Fulton County, and we're represented by Brittany Parson. Brittany? Next is Lackawanna County, represented by Joshua Strong. Joshua? We're getting closer to the announcement of the $10,000 scholarship. Victoria Fisher, and Rebecca Kroll. Please come forward. And going backwards for all the names I've mispronounced, so please forgive me. Some tough ones, but this one's not tough. From Lawrence County, Katie Callahan. Katie. From nearby Lebanon County, Lyda Lech, Monica Pestal, and Hannah Reese. Please come to the stage. Alexis Opplinger. Alexis. From Lycoming County, Angela Cordillo, Mercer Volk, Billy Strickler, and Mackenzie Wolves. Please come to the stage. And Kyle Shore. Please come forward. Pretty soon after this part of the program, we'll be announcing our the winners of our Samsung Chromebook 2 computers. There'll be 10 of those today. So good luck, everybody. And from Philadelphia, County Ed City, Zahir Anderson, David Bartholomew, Bethsaida Barrios, Brianna Clark, Makita Edwards, Michelle Holland, Taisha Johnson, Abu Canoe, Thomas Laws, Thomas McCauley, Michael Melendez, Kwame Mills Wilson, Jason Rodriguez, Najee Royster, and Van Sam. guess I was wrong, Mayor. Dauphin County isn't the smartest county. Okay, there's one name that we missed, unfortunately. But if you could get from Delaware County, Nikila Nathan. Nikila? County, Pennsylvania, Ethan Garvey, Tien Fung, and Jacob Schoner. Please come forward. Bachman, Caitlin Bompiani, Matthew Nace, Rachel Orndorff, Kayla Pringle, Zachary Snyder, and Alicia Schweitzer. Please come forward. Secretary Hanger for a generous donation of his time to be with us here today. Mayor Pratt, it's much appreciated for being with us and offering their thoughts on the importance of leadership. Let's all give one more round of applause to Secretary Hanger. Mentioned at the beginning of the program, we're donating 10 Samsung Chromebooks to students who are with us here today. Right? Okay. And Rebecca Kahn, who put all this together with the help of a great team, is here to draw the numbers and present them to me. I will, of course, mess up the names. They should do homework. So Rebecca, would you please pick the first name and hand it to me for butcher? Catherine McVeigh. I nailed it. Rebecca. Taylor Ellis. Taylor. Caitlin Morrison. Elizabeth Tonkin. Please come forward. Christina Tentalucci. Evan Allross. The mayor's happier than the students. Kylie Shore. I neglected to say that once you receive the award, please stay on stage here. Please come back on stage. We need to get a picture of all the winners. Okay. Put your Fitbits to work. Nicholas Karaflis. Kyle Miller. Congratulations, Kyle. And if the winners could please come forward and pose for a picture with the mayor.
mentioned about the big moment, and here it is. This is the awarding of our $10,000 Comcast Founders Scholarship, and I would like to ask Bob Smith, Comcast Vice President of Government Affairs, to give us some background on this prestigious and generous award provided by Comcast founder Ralph Roberts, and to announce this year's winner. Bob Smith.
Frank Lynch. Welcome to Harrisburg. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor, you thought you had fun giving away computers. This afternoon, I get to turn one of these $1,000 scholarships into a $10,000 scholarship instituted in honor of Ralph J. Roberts, Comcast founder and chairman emeritus. Mr. Roberts founded Comcast, one of the leading entertainment and communications companies, with the purchase of a small cable system in Tupelo, Mississippi in 1963. And from those humble roots, he went on to create a company that today is the nation's largest video, high-speed internet, and phone providers to residential customers under the Xfinity brand. You may have read a little bit about us in the newspaper recently. It's far from the small company that Ralph created. Mr. Roberts, although 95 years young, is involved in numerous community and civic activities. His business, entrepreneurial, and humanitarian endeavors have brought him many awards and honorary degrees. And like the accomplishments of our students here today, they are far too numerous for me to mention. But I will tell you that since our founding in 1963, Mr. Roberts has insisted that Comcast be a local company. Under his direction, our connections to the communities that we serve has always been important to us. Ralph has urged us to work hard to build and strengthen relationships with community partners and to make a difference, to improve neighborhoods, and to create lasting results. And we know that, like Ralph, all of you are going to make a difference in the world as well. So in honor of our founder, Ralph Roberts, we are happy to award a $10,000 Comcast Founders Grant to Michelle Holland from Swenson Arts and Technology High School in Philadelphia. Now, I have to tell you, there's an ulterior motive. Michelle is going to Temple University next year, right, Michelle? Yes. To study communication. So first of all, don't take my job. And second of all, my son is a freshman there, and he needs someone smart looking after him. So I'll tell you where you can find him. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Let's
come out here in the middle.
Thank you, Bob, and congratulations, Michelle. We're getting to that point in the program. We're almost done. In a few minutes, we'll gather for dinner up in the Memorial Hall. If you've never been here, just go out these doors, up the steps, and up the escalator, and that's where the food will be. Folks from the Government Affairs staff can join you. But first, we would ask that as soon as we're done with this part of the program, that all the winning students come forward to the stage for a group photo. We'll take it from there. Family and friends, feel free to go up to the dinner, and the students will join you in just a little bit. With that, we reach a point in the program where it's time to deal with things falling off the podium. Where we do move on to dinner. But before we do, we have one unfinished piece of business. We offered applause to elected officials, to education and community leaders, and of course to the deserving students, the best and brightest in Pennsylvania. But we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge and thank those who made it all possible for student success, the parents and caregivers of our winners. They're the real everyday heroes, the real impetus for success that our winners have earned. So at this time, I would ask that our winning students please rise. Winners, could you please stand up? You're all getting some very healthy and well-deserved applause right now, and it's well earned. But at this time, I would ask that the folks that got you here are your mentors, your teachers, your family, and those that supported you the whole way. You'd be here because you're bright anyway, but it really helped to have those kind of people in your life, and I'm sure you join me in that sentiment. So at this point, I think it's time that they deserve the kind of credit they deserve, and I would ask that you lead us all in a round of applause for the mentors, because they truly are the cornerstones of your success.